Half Shell Oyster House offers happy hour at the bar and throughout the restaurant every day from 3 to 6 p.m. Happy hour includes $2 off all glasses of wine, liquor, martinis, mixed drinks, and draft beer, $2.50 on all domestic bottled beer, and $3.50 on all craft bottled beer. So come on out to Half Shell Oyster House, located at 115 Lower Park Cove, Suite 105, Flowood, Mississippi 39232, or you can give them a call at 769-257-7586. And hey, tell them Sonia sent you.
She say sports. She say sports. She say sports. She say sports.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Sonia, and welcome back to She Say Sports. Please welcome back Sportswriter with the New Orleans Advocate, Rod Walker. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too, Sonia. Thanks.
It's been a minute, man.
I know, it's almost February, so I'll just,
You haven't been on the but that was you, not me.
Okay, you're right.
You stood me up. We had
I did not stand you up.
Legends of the Sip shows, you and Wanky, but we got to get it together because it's some people. You mentioned somebody on your page, I think Jarius Norwood.
I think I mentioned him on somebody else's page.
May have been, but it was on Coach Maurice Williams' page.
It was on my page.
Yeah, it was on his page, and you talked about him being playing football as well as he did something in basketball. So
yeah, because Mo had a clipping from a newspaper clipping with all the top scores from the schools in the Jackson metro area, and Jarius obviously played with Brandon, and his name was on there. I was actually surprised, but because he's one of the lead, he's like the third leading scorer for Brandon. So
So yeah, we'll talk. So that's not why we're here. How was your holidays, Christmas, New Year's?
It was good. It's always a kind of busy time for me, obviously, because of work.
Yeah.
Saints were playing still. College football semifinals were in New Orleans, Washington, and Texas in the Sugar Bowl for the semifinals. So it just always work.
And the NBA. So yeah.
And the NBA, the Pelicans are playing. That's right.
So yeah. Well, speaking of NFL, while we are down to the final 4 teams in the NFL playoffs, man, this is going to be an exciting weekend. I'm so excited. And there may be 1 or 2 upsets on the horizon. Who knows? You never know. So let's start off with the Baltimore Ravens. They will be hosting the reigning champs, Kansas City Chiefs at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday on CBS and Paramount Plus. The Ravens have had a great season under the helm of Lamar Jackson, and this will be the Ravens' first time hosting the AFC Championship and the second playoff meeting with the 2 teams. Rob, what are your thoughts on this matchup and who comes out on top?
Well, first of all, I think the Ravens have been the best team all season long. Yes. I think Lamar Jackson's had the best season all season long. I think he'll be the MVP when they announce that the week of leading up to the Super Bowl. So, but you got to go through Patrick Mahomes. He's a quarterback that's been in the AFC Championship game every single season since he started. So that's pretty impressive. This is 6 years in a row that the Chiefs have been there. I actually thought the Chiefs would lose last week. I thought going to Buffalo would be tough for them.
The same thing.
But they were able to win that game. So I would never count out Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and those guys. So it should be a really good game. But I'm picking Baltimore. I just think they've been the best team all season. They're really good on both sides of the ball. The defense forces a lot of turnovers and keep teams from scoring. So I think Baltimore is the best team. Again, I think they've been the best team this entire season.
Well, you made a great choice because, as you know, the Ravens have destroyed every team all season at the M&T Bank Stadium. However, like you mentioned, Chief quarterback Patrick Mahomes has never lost a road playoff in his career. So do you think this will be Mahomes' first time for everything moment?
I think so. You say that. I mean, he really hadn't played in a lot of road playoff games. He's usually always at home. Last week they were on the road.
Yeah.
They won their Super Bowl. I guess they beat Tampa Bay
Mhm.
in Tampa. Oh, I guess they lost to Tampa in Tampa. No, they beat Tampa. They lost to Tampa in Tampa. My bad. Yeah. So I mean, he did lose that one. So, but that wasn't really a true road game. It was a Super Bowl, and the crowd's a little different there. But yeah, I think this is the this is the Sunday I think that the Chiefs go down. I think Baltimore's just going to be too much for them.
I agree. And, I truly believe this, like I said, is going to be a great game, but I believe it's going to be an instant classic. I really, really do. I'm so looking forward to this. It's going to be pretty exciting. So let's move on to the Bay Area, where we will have the 49ers hosting the NFC Championship game against the Detroit Lions, 6:30 Eastern Time on Fox. Now, this is the Lions' first time in the NFC Championship since 1991. We were in college.
A long time.
And they lost to Washington 41-10, and I believe Washington won that Super Bowl that year as well. So they're the only NFC North team that has never played in the Super Bowl. They've never played. And last time the Lions beat the 49ers was in 2015. The Lions have had a Cinderella season. And me being a Bear fan, I really want them to go all the way. I really do. It's just we cousins, but they're not our biggest rivals. So, I can deal with it. I'm happy for them. But Rod, both teams struggled to get to the NFC Championship, but pulled out the wins. What are your thoughts on this matchup, and do you smell an upset?
Well, it's kind of funny. The 49ers like 7-point favorites, which is a lot in a playoff game. And I remember back when the 49ers played the Ravens. I can't remember what month. I guess that was December maybe. And it was like a really good game. The Ravens ended up winning by like 14, I think, 31-19, something like that. But anyway, that night I remember I posted something like, I think there's a good chance we'll see these teams in the Super Bowl. I think the 49ers and the Ravens have been head and shoulders above everybody else. That's why they're both the number one seeds in the playoffs. But I also, I'm kind of like you. I mean, you can't help but kind of pull for Detroit. I know people from Detroit. I know how long they've suffered and waited for this. And their coach, actually, I cover the Saints obviously here, but their coach was here with the Saints coaching tight ends. And he ended up getting that job. And I remember when he got the job, I was like, man, I don't know if this is a good hire for them. I just didn't think he was I didn't know if he could handle it because I don't know if you remember his first press conference, but he kind of yeah.
Go ahead.
His very first press conference, he was talking about, we're gonna hit him in the kneecaps. He was just saying a lot of stuff that was just crazy, and everybody was like, "What are they doing?" But I mean, he turned their franchise around. He has. I mean, it's been really impressive. Their defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn, was also here with the Saints. They got a couple of Saints guys on the team, so I kind of kept up with them and watched them. And plus, they were on the show Hard Knocks last season, so you kind of got a chance to get an inside glimpse of that team. And they're a team they're fun to watch. They're gonna be tough. They're scrappy. Dan Campbell's gonna have them ready to play. And obviously going to San Francisco is gonna be tough. 49ers have been this is their third straight NFC Championship game. They're trying to get over that hump. So if I was betting on the game, I mean, I'd pick the 49ers, but I do think it's going to be a little closer than a lot of people thinking it's going to be. I think Detroit's really scrappy. And
I agree. I agree. And it's going to be, again, exciting. I'm hoping they get it because, like you say, they have truly – actually, I was impressed with them last season. And me, Jamie, and said we talked about them last season and probably the season before. They've been like inching up.
Yeah.
And so this season is just like, you done made it. Just keep going, fight. Just fight. You made it. You even passed the Dallas Cowboys. Come on, y'all.
And this is a team that, when the season started, I remember they played that Thursday night season opener. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Detroit beat Kansas City in their first game and kind of had everybody like, okay, maybe this is the year. So, you got to kind of pull for them a little bit, I think.
Yeah, then when they get it, then I'm gonna be mad because we'll be tied at one ring, but whatever. So you're like, where
But
y'all?
and
Huh?
if you get Baltimore and 49ers, I mean that's a Super Bowl that they actually played that Super Bowl here in 2013. And, that was a Super Bowl when Beyonce performed, the lights went out in the Superdome.
Yeah.
That was Baltimore and San Francisco, so you may have that again.
Well, more than likely, if the Lions do win, I mean, I don't think they have the juice against the Ravens. But either way, I think it's gonna be an exciting Super Bowl. I'm just ready for it. I'm ready. Are you gonna go to a party or
I don't
you
like
got?
I don't like Super Bowl parties. I like to watch it at
Me
home.
either.
I don't like all the talking. I want to just kind of watch the game. So I stay away from Super Bowl parties always.
Get you some finger foods and just chill out.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are pulling against Kansas City because of they're tired
Miguel.
they're tired of seeing Taylor Swift, and it's not Taylor Swift's fault. She just going to the game, and the cameras are putting it on her. It ain't her
That
fault.
she's popular and a billionaire, and
Right.
so I mean that's not her fault. However, I was happy, I was pulling for the Chiefs when they were, but I'm it's time for somebody else now. And
Right.
I would love to see the Lions and definitely the Ravens because I'm a Lamar Jackson fan. So we'll see. We shall see. We shall see. So Rob, we're gonna move on to basketball and to a topic that's really getting a lot of attention. It always had attention even when it first started. But UConn's legendary women's basketball coach Gino Ariami, did I say that right? Ariami? Yeah. Ariama says that the NIL has ruined the game and that everything is transactional and you can't have relationships with the athletes because they can walk out at any time. Do you think coaches need to adapt to the times, or is it some form of control that they want to keep over the student athletes?
No, they definitely have to adapt to the times. I mean, this is where it's going now, and this is where it should go because coaches always have the opportunity. Coaches walk out all the time for more money and all that stuff. So you can't expect. I mean, I do understand like why it's harder for coaches now, especially coaches like him. Some of these coaches, they can always just they recruit a kid and they didn't have to worry about anything. That kid was gonna stay there.
Right, they were gonna be there 4 years, right?
And even for Gino, I mean, kids probably aren't going to leave UConn. I mean, it's just such a national brand, and they're always going to be in the national championship conversation. So I don't think he was really speaking about himself. I think he's just speaking about the sport in general. And, so I mean, I understand why coaches don't like it, but coaches have to realize that, we all got to do what's best for us. If we want to leave, if we need to make more money, you do what you got to do to make it, especially as a college student. I wish I had some chances as a college student to go make some money.
Yeah. And I get what you're saying because they should all have, well, before I get into that, let me ask you this. Do you think that was one of the reasons that Coach Saban retired, because it's different.
Yeah,
And
I don't know because I saw an interview he had, and one of the things he talked about was that I don't know what he is, 70 something, early 70s, I guess, but whatever. And he talked about how kids would ask him, or parents might ask him like, okay, if I send my kid to Alabama, are you gonna be around? And he's gotten to an age where he can't promise that I'm gonna be here.
Yeah.
Right. He said he couldn't promise these kids that I'm gonna be here 4 years from now because he just didn't know, when it'd be time for him to walk away from it. So I think I think that kind of weighed on him, like, am I lying to this kid telling him I'm gonna be here 4 years from now and I might not be? And I think he just kind of got out of it. I mean, they were still competitive and they were still, recruiting the top guys in the country. So I don't know, like NIL, I don't know if it was catching up with Alabama because I think they were gonna still always get the best players in the country.
True. I agree, but a good quarterback in the portal, and that portal is a monster too.
Yeah.
A good quarterback in the portal costs 1.5 million right now. Maybe a lot of the coaches feel like, how can I coach a student athlete who's making more money than me? because I think that sometimes is that's a conflict. And
I think
you and I have talked about this before. I've talked about it with Jamie and said, really, I've talked about it several times on this show, even before the NIL and the transfer portal was even a thing. And I want the kids to get a piece of the pie. Don't get me wrong. However, I think it should be some stipulations. They should get a stipend every month, and the rest of it go into a trust. Everybody is not going to make it to the NFL or the NBA. So you'll have some money when you get out. You can, start fresh. Now, I understand if somebody, like some people, their family need a home or some, their mama need the money. I get it. But I, I hate the portal. I really do. And I understand coaches leave, but these kids are doing it. It's every other week. It's just weird, Rod.
they're
It's just
jumping in and jumping out now. And the portal's gotten so big now. I mean, these kids are jumping in there, and you think that you're gonna find a school, and a lot of kids don't even find schools. I mean,
exactly.
I mean that's an issue. And
Yeah, and
and
then
I talked about I wish I could make that kind of money when I was in college. Like I couldn't have handled $1 million in college. Like I wouldn't even know. Like I'd have been so just messed up with that kind of money. So I mean, I say that, but I'm kind of like half joking. But I do like to see that the kids are able to get something. But
yes,
as a coach, I mean, it's hard to. I can't imagine being a coach, coaching a quarterback who's making $1 million, and then I got this tight end that's, not getting any NIL money, and I mean that could be difficult too, because you got to manage all these personalities and egos, and so it's definitely a lot that comes with it. It changes like everything that coaches are so used to. So now you just got to adjust your whole style.
a lot of, another thing I used to always say is the fact that one thing I loved about college ball, especially basketball, because my first love was basketball. I'm leaning more to football in the latter years, but there was such a hunger and a fire in a student athlete in college. Their mindset is totally different because they still hungry. So now when you're getting $1 million here, are you really playing for the game? I mean, Michael and Michael Jordan, he didn't make really a lot of money until the last few years with the Bulls. He wasn't making a lot of money, but he had money from endorsements,
Right.
So he was making his money on that end. But his fire and hunger for the game, to me, it never left. And it's just different. I don't know. I want the kids, like you said, I want them to have something, but just with stipulations. It's kind of getting out of hand. And this transfer portal, they need to close it. I hate it. I hate it.
It's definitely hard to like even just keeping up with your team. I mean, because the players are just all over the place. I mean,
They're all over the place. I don't know who. I
start,
mean, 1 minute, and I'm a Jackson State fan. So 1 second, this guy, he writing this long 3-paragraph, thanks Tigers, I love you, and always the. Then 3 weeks later, after consideration and talking with my parents and Coach TC, I've decided to come back. It's crazy. It's too much.
It's definitely crazy. You're talking about Gino. I don't know if you saw this, but he didn't specifically say a name, but he mentioned a Seton Hall player, and it was Lauren. What's her name? Lauren Park Lane. Yeah, and she actually transferred from Seton Hall to she's at Mississippi State now. And he mentioned like a Seton Hall player. He said, "Yeah, that happened last year," and and she was like a grad student. I mean, she spent her 4 years at Seton Hall and decided to just, she wanted to go. And you can do that if you're a grad. You just graduate and go. So I did think he was kind of wrong for hinting about her leaving, because he actually said, yeah, she left for money, and the girl actually responded on Twitter like, that's kind of reckless to say I left for money. Like I got my degree and I decided to move on.
Right.
So
She stayed with her obligation. She was there for 4 years. Well, I mean, she didn't have to play her graduate year there. That's her business. Now that's different. But I'm talking about transferring, that's no. And I'm glad.
I'm okay with you transferring, maybe one time. Because I mean,
well, you know what?
Because I mean, we all may have thought about transferring, so I mean, students do that. So I mean, that's fair. But yeah, I mean, for a coach, I can understand how you're tired of people just hopping around. But also some coaches, it kind of helps them because there are some teams that, and I use Deion, for example. I mean, if there was no transfer portal, I don't know if, I mean, he wouldn't have been able to get the players he got that came in with him. So, I mean, obviously he's a great recruiter, so he's still going to get players. But
Right.
there are some schools that, or you can use Ole Miss, for example. I mean, they tore the portal up this offseason. They had like one of the best recruiting classes out of the portal. So, I mean, it definitely helps some teams in recruiting. I mean, you can get some players with some experience. And it kind of hurts some high school recruiting now because now you're like, am I going to recruit this high school quarterback who's really good? Or am I going to get somebody a senior who just wants to transfer without, give me a 22-year-old senior who's played college football before. I ain't got to wait for him to develop. He's already developed. So you have that
that's not fair sometimes because then what the other kid going to do? I mean, yeah. So, but Brian Wanky Adams, he opened my eyes the last time we were all on the show together last year, and because he was recruited by another coach and that coach left, he was like, I would have loved to have had the transfer portal because it would have gave me an opportunity to be with the coach that chose me, and I couldn't leave. So I get that in instances like that because, and like you said, coaches leave all the time, but I just think it needs to have a handle on it. It's getting out of control, I think. That's all.
Most of the time, kids, when they get recruited, though, most of the time these kids are more committed to the coach than the school. And I mean, you always tell people like,
so is that bad? Is that bad?
Probably because the coach probably not going.
Don't
I can
stay.
say probably. I'm not saying probably not going to stay, but the coach might leave. I mean, you look at Saban retired, and all these Alabama kids all of a sudden jumped in the portal. I mean, they had like 28 guys to jump in the
Deion
transfer.
too when he left Jackson State.
Right, same thing. Yeah. So, I mean, you kind of wish the kids would commit to the school because the school's going to be there. The coach might not be there, but the school's going to be there, and
Right.
it just didn't happen. So,
yeah.
And if I was a kid being recruited, I mean, the coach is kind of that's what draws you in. So I get it. And if he leaves, you kind of okay, I'm leaving with him. So you just kind of hope that they get that attachment to the school, but it doesn't normally happen that way.
And I can see it because if I was, well, I'll use her an example. We're gonna move on to the next story. Rod, I love stories about women making differences in sports and just making history. And Coach Tara Vanderveer, she is the head coach for Stanford. She made NCAA history by becoming the winningest coach in NCAA history. She surpassed Coach K, who.
What does the K stand for? I never say it, and I never try to spell it.
Kariziki, I can see it in my head. Whatever.
Anyway, I know who you're talking about. I just want to.
I know you know. So, former head coach, Coach K, he became the winningest coach back in 2019, and he was recognized with this honor by having 1,123 wins, whereas Coach Tara Vanderveer, after their win against Oregon State Beavers 65-56, she became the winningest coach with 1,203 wins. Bravo, congratulations, Coach. That is awesome. Coach Vanderveer, she's a Hall of Famer. She has been a coach for 44 years. 38 of those years she's been with Stanford. She has won 3 national titles at Stanford and was named National Coach of the Year 5 times. Outstanding. I mean, she has done so much and poured so much into women. I'll say, for instance, if I, I can't play no basketball, but if I played basketball and I was recruited by Coach Vanderveer and because she left, I think she left for a year at Stanford for a minute. She left, I would have probably felt some way too, because it's like I had a connection with her. I had a relationship with her. And that's why when Coach Ariami said that the relationships are transactional, they've always been kind of transactional, but he's meaning money-wise now. So that relationship would have been transactional for me, and because she chose me and she believed in me, and I probably would have felt some way too, but I don't know. But congratulations, she has done an amazing job. What else is there for her to do? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, she's been.
4 years?
I looked it up. I mean, she's been. Yeah, she started in 1978, which is
Yes. We were kids.
crazy.
We were
Right.
babies.
Yeah, and yeah, she's done a tremendous job. I think coaches like that. I mean, because I looked up her stats when we kind of talked about what we were going to talk about, and she's had like one losing season, and that was her first year at Stanford. She went like 13-15, which that's almost a 500 record. So
Yeah.
but other than that, I mean, she's like winning 25 games a year, almost 20. She had a few 18-12 seasons, but I mean, she's just been winning. And I mean, once you get a program like that established, I mean, you're gonna always be able to get the good players. You're not gonna ever like fall off.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably not gonna fall off. So,
and that's what I miss also, longevity with coaches, because we don't do that anymore.
Yeah, we don't see it a lot.
I was a DePaul Blue Demon growing up. I was a fan. I was a Ray Meyer era. That was my coach. I fell in love with North Carolina after he left. When he left and Joey took over, I still was a fan, but not like I was with his daddy. And rest in peace, Joey just died last month. I think he was 74, and that's I'm like, I remember when I was a little kid, and he was so young.
Right.
And, but the longevity with coaches and how they used to stay at schools, Red Auerbach, they stayed years, over 20 years, 30, 40, and now it's like whoever got the best coin, I'm out.
Yeah.
And it's just so I love old school stuff. I love old school sports, and I guess it's nostalgic for me with Coach Vanderveer to be what she's doing, but staying so long. But yeah, I'm sorry. That was
it's a really impressive record, and I was kind of looking just to see if she catch it, and I looked up the numbers, but I didn't realize this. But Gino's only like 7 games behind her.
Coach Gino?
Yes.
Oh,
and he's 69 and she's 70. She turned 71 this year. He turned 70 this year. So it's just gonna be a matter of which one of them coaches.
It's a matter of time. Oh wow,
they just got to try to outlast each other. Like if she wants,
he's only 6 games behind her.
7. Well, it was 7 Saturday. Like I don't know if they played, like early in the week, but so yeah, it's just gonna be a matter of she just got to outlast him. She got to wait till he retire and say, okay, I'm gonna go one more year. But
oh my gosh, that is
gonna be close.
It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be exciting. Well, I wish her well in many more years of success, whatever she decides to do. I mean, Mama, you can go and sit down now. You did it. You did everything. So.
Nobody else is really even close to him. Like Rick Pitino's, he's 357 games behind her. So
really?
So I did the math. He'd have to win like 25 games for like 14 more years, and I mean he won't be coached that long. So it's basically just her and Gino, like just riding it out and see who can outlast you.
I know. I love it. That's what's up. Well, Rod, thank you so much for joining me on the show. But we have a game to play, and it's a little different from the last time you played. You're the first guinea pig for this. It's called What You Know. So I'm gonna ask you a few questions. And it's football trivia. Look at you. So, a lot of this stuff you may know. Some of it you better know. So we shall see.
Can we edit out the ones I don't know?
Huh?
Can we
edit
out?
No, we're not going to edit anything out. No. But a lot of this stuff you probably already know because you are a football buff. You're a sports buff, period. So I know you know this. How many NFL divisions are there?
8.
Who won Super Bowl 1?
Green Bay.
Oh my gosh, you're amazing. How do you know that? You looked up in the air. He was like Green Bay. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Like when I was young. Like wait, if you'd asked me all this stuff like 20 years ago, like it would be really easy. But it's just like I got like too much stuff in my brain right now.
You got a lot of it in your brain.
So a lot of times, like you could ask me something easy, and I'm probably gonna miss it, like because it's just been so long ago. But go ahead.
You definitely won't miss this one. Where is the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
Canton, Ohio.
Only one team plays their home games in New York. Which team is it?
In the state of New York,
Mhm.
Buffalo.
Who is the NFL's all-time leading receiver?
Jerry Rice.
Who is the NFL's all-time leading rusher?
I don't even want to say it, but I say it. Emmitt Smith. You know I like the Cowboys, but I say it for you. I say it for the show's purposes.
Which two franchises have won the most Super Bowls? You better know this one.
New England and Pittsburgh.
Which player is the Man of the Year award named after?
Walter Payton.
Oh my gosh. Which 4 teams are named after cats?
The Carolina Panthers. The Detroit Lions. Cincinnati Bengals. After I go through all the divisions in my head. Wait. Oh, wait, no, that's not a cat. Wait a minute. Hold on. I have to go through the divisions like literally in my head. Yeah. Oh, Jacksonville. Jaguars, Jacksonville.
Last but not least, which player was nicknamed the Minister of Defense?
Reggie White.
Unbelievable.
I was worried.
Freaking believable. You are a walking football almanac.
That's a lot of pressure.
I can tell. That was good, Rod. I'm gonna like this. Do you like this better than this or that?
No.
Oh well, it's gonna be so.
I think
Whatever.
it's because of as a sports writer, like I feel like I'm supposed to know it.
Yeah. So, but what if you didn't? Then I was like, dang.
Right. That's what I was worried about.
Well, you did very well. I can't wait to get somebody who don't know nothing. Oh my gosh.
Okay. That'll be, but if they're not a sports writer, like it won't be bad. But
Yeah, but it's all fun, and but I cannot wait. Oh, I can't wait to the next person. So, Rod, thank you so much for joining me today. Tell the listeners how they can follow you on social media.
Twitter, I'm Rod Walker Nola. Instagram is R Walker. I think it's R Walker. I can never remember if it's R Walker or Rod Walker. 1906.
It's R Walker on Instagram.
It is, okay. And then you can read my stories at NOLA.com, and you just go to NOLA.com, go to sports, and you can actually, there's like a pull down window with my name, so you can just kind of read my stuff there. But they kind of like put all my stuff behind a paywall now, so you have to get that credit card out and pay whatever the subscription fee is.
So I'm gonna need you to keep putting it on your page. Guys, you can follow me on Facebook, She Say Sports, Instagram, She Say Sports 23, and please subscribe to our YouTube page, She Say Sports. Rod, do you like the new videos I'm doing with different people that have been on the show?
I do. I wish I could give you one. Can I do one?
Sure.
Can I do one? I go record one. All you gotta do is ask me to record one, and I go do it like right away.
Oh my gosh. So it takes forever, y'all. I finally got 2 of them 3 weeks ago. I mean, last week?
Last week.
But I asked 3 weeks ago, so don't listen to him. But yeah, I'm enjoying that. That's been fun. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Until next time, this is Sonia with She Say Sports.